pants. Take 8.
Yeah, we're just a hair into the song.
Welcome to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, the best-looking guys on the radio. We all know the funniest things happen when we stop
We're allowed
taking
to
ourselves
talk,
too
'cause the
seriously and
YouTube
step
people
out
can hear
boldly,
it.
like Mr.
Wow,
Magoo
what is it?
blindly
What are
stepping
you
onto
playing
the
at?
next swinging girder and
What's
falling
wrong with
into an
it?
outrageous
It's
dip.
awesome.
Your hosts, Daryl and Ed, are about to administer a refreshing dose of laughter and love that will
Well, you know
inspire
the
you to
YouTubers are
step out
watching, getting
boldly
bored
and
now.
experience the funniest things.
We gotta keep them
Now,
interested
here are your hosts,
until we really
Daryl
start.
and Ed.
Hey, welcome to Funniest Thing, where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
That's right.
I'm Daryl.
And I'm Ed.
And we're broadcasting live from Middle School Studios in downtown Culver City, the heart of Screenland.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually, speaking of stepping out boldly, if you're one of our YouTube viewers, or if you're just one of the podcast listeners, or if you're a live listener on Unity Online Radio, we suggest you check out DarylNed.com because we just posted a very short YouTube video that's all about your comfort zone.
Yes.
And stepping out boldly.
That's right. That's right. It was heavily inspired by Jeff Comfort.
That's right. The audio engineer here at Unity Online Radio.
That's right. That's right. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because today's episode is called
Get Up Off the Mat.
Yeah, Get Up Off the Mat. Speaking of Matt, Matt delivered the great news. Whatever you ask for in prayer with faith, you will receive. And that, Matt, is Matthew from 21:22. In other words, yes. In other words, it's recommended that we enjoy the feeling of expectancy as we anticipate the answer to our prayers. And to help us out with this subject, during the second segment, former U.S. Army Green Beret Sergeant Larry Broughton, CEO of Broughton Hotels, drops in to read, discuss, and crush today's daily word, healing. Yeah. So,
we're very excited about this episode.
Yes.
Because it actually activates the fact. Oh, we got a couple of breaths.
Yeah,
well, this is perfect.
No, start it.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say.
Breakdown.
Well, because we were thinking about, we got a great daily word reading. That's another thing. If you listen to our show and you're interested in the daily word, every weekly episode, the hub of every weekly episode is the daily word for that day.
Yes.
And both of us have been reading the daily word for years as part of our morning routine, and also keep it with us in the car.
Yes.
To start a new day if we need to.
Right.
And today's is a very good one on healing, and it drives home the point that the healing begins to occur, or God jumps in once we release our concern, our worry.
Yes.
Because I used to have the mistaken belief that if I wasn't concerned about a problem or worried about it, then I wasn't actively trying to solve it.
Yes.
Or fix it.
That's right.
Or if I wasn't worried, it mean I didn't care.
That's right.
But the opposite's true. The good news is, as soon as we release the worry, God jumps in a hurry, and that leads to our
3 breaths.
3 breaths.
All right, let's take a breath to clear our mind. Here we go. When I give up on worry, God acts in a hurry.
When I give up my worry, God acts in a hurry.
When I give up my worry, God acts in a hurry. Nice. Dude, this is great. I was actually on my way over here from the conservatory where we got our pregame caffeine. I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking about how our prayers are always being answered. It was becoming so clear to me. It's always happening. It's always happening. Our job is to keep ourselves in tune and in good spirits so that we can receive them as we do. And I was thinking, man, right now, prayers that I put in motion whenever, however long ago, it could have been today or 10 years ago, they're arriving right now. So there's this double value of me being in a good, receptive place because, for one, I want to be joyfully receiving the stuff that's arriving now and joyfully knowing that the stuff that I'm praying for, that I'm hoping for or whatever, also knowing that that's going to arrive in due time.
Well, yeah, a couple of things came up for me we were talking about. One is the idea that we're always manifesting. Like sometimes you think, oh, I'm not manifesting anything right now. Yes, I am. I'm manifesting this right now.
Oh my God, yes.
From my previous thinking or praying.
Right.
So, and how our job is to, in spite of the current situation, to keep our mind, because it's a joyous God, it's a positive God who works with joy.
Right.
So to keep my thoughts as hopeful thoughts, positive thoughts, a belief that this has only come to pass, it hasn't come to stay.
That's right.
And that healing and health is natural.
Yeah.
And that myself, my true spirit, is whole.
Yes.
And this mistaken belief can easily be remedied.
Conditioned. And, the more we tune in to this loving God, this loving life, like these little things that seem so big, because when they become a thing, when they're nagging us, our focus, somehow I've gotten mentally tangled up into something. And part of the dilemma at that point is I have the tendency to want to keep tangling with it. No, I'm not going to rest until this thing's done. But the problem is it'll never get done because too much of my attention is there. But when I recognize, like what I was thinking about on my way over here, that like for you, you're standing in this beautiful house. The two of us have this radio show that we once dreamed of doing something like this, and now it's here. I live in a beautiful home. I got a beautiful wife and a son and all this stuff that one time was like, how's this ever gonna happen? But now, like, all those things have arrived, and the more I stay in the flow of appreciation with what is already arriving, or it has arrived and is arriving now, the easier it is to I guess, coax my mind to believe that it's going to continue happening in a good way.
Yes, that's a good thing because it's two things. One is we're always looking for evidence.
Yes.
The problem is, though, we're usually looking for evidence, or at least I catch myself more often than not looking for evidence of a problem.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Right.
We're either looking for evidence of the good or the bad, but it's like there seems to be no in between.
Right, and here's the crazy part, and I'm sure some of our listeners can identify because most people I talk about this do. It's like if I see a tiny little shred of evidence that things aren't going to work out, like, oh no, my credit score isn't that great, why should I even bother applying for this car loan or car lease, right? And then we just throw the whole thing out the window and we buy into that negative thing. But if we we never take put that much energy and belief in, you know what? My credit score's not that great, but anything good is possible.
That's right.
And I pay all my bills now on time.
Yeah.
I'm never late.
That's right.
Why not apply for this?
Yeah.
Take the more positive route.
Yeah.
And then what happens is if we don't get that, we get better. Same thing with an illness.
Yeah.
I have this problem with my foot that reoccurs.
Right.
And the tendency is this thing ever going to get better? It's like, no, today it's pain-free.
Yeah.
I'm healing. And focus on that. And another thing that we talked about this week was that definition of prayer from William James' book, which is Variety of Religious Experience.
Yes.
And he says the definition of prayer is like this. He says prayer is that general term used, meaning it's not necessarily a religious term.
Right.
The general term used to describe the attitude of open and earnest expectancy. So when we say, this is the thing, like we'll hear people say, I pray you get that job. I pray this works out for you. Well, the tendency is it almost sounds like, well, you're screwed, but...
Well, the energy of that it's riding on is like, there's a rat's chance in hell you're going to get it, but I hope it works out.
Yeah, but the word prayer really meant originally when people say, I pray you get that job, they were really saying, according to that definition, is, I declare you're going to get that job. When you used to say, I pray you get well, it was like saying, I believe you're going to get well, Ed.
Well, I don't know if it ever was like that, but it's because if you think about it as a neutral term, you are openly and earnestly expecting either the good or the bad at any given moment. So in a way, if you look at it that way, we're always praying. And I was thinking, if I'm consciously tuned into the good, right? Like you were saying, if my consciousness is tuned into the bad, no matter all this good could be happening, but I don't even barely notice it. But the reverse is true. If I'm consciously tuned into the good, these little bad things happen.
They mean nothing.
It's like I'll just, instead of like if I find something out of place that my wife does something differently than I do, if I'm tuned into the good, I'll simply wash the dish or the coffee, whatever it is, and move on. I won't think about it. But if I'm tuned into the bad, then that gets all my focus, and it becomes. So we really are always praying, because we're openly and earnestly expecting one or the other.
That's right. Every thought's a prayer that will eventually manifest.
Right. So if you're on the mat, today's show is Get Up Off the Mat. If you're on the mat, that's basically open and earnest expectation that it's just going to keep getting worse in a way. So we're encouraged. This is what we encourage ourselves to do every day: is get up off the mat, get back in the flow of life, and just see what's going to happen, because it's amazing what does.
Yeah, it's basically what we have to do is feed ourselves positive things.
Yes.
Whether it's readings, listening to a CD that's positive and uplifting, whatever your favorite spiritual CD is.
Yes.
Listen to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ann, if that helps.
Or YouTube it.
So in this book, TNT, The Power Within You by Claude Bristol.
All these books are at darylanded.com under the reading list. You can see a link where you can get it from Amazon or whatever it is. But every book we read, if you go to darylanded.com to the reading list, you will find it there.
Yeah, and all you fans of The Secret, Claude Bristol was actually sharing this secret many, many, many decades ago. And his most famous publication in audio, which you could probably get off the line, is called The Magic of Believing.
Right.
And this is another book of his called TNT.
Dynamite.
And it says here on page 137, belief takes you where you want to go with the speed of jet propulsion. Mm-hmm. Doubt and disbelief take you just as fast in the opposite direction.
This is exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, belief always magnetizes. Disbelief demagnetizes.
Yes.
You know something of the efficacy of prayer. What is prayer but the expression of a heartfelt, earnest, sincere want or desire?
Wow.
I didn't even know that was in here.
I know.
Just reassurance that we're on the right track, because sometimes I'm always worried we're not. The great master said, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. And then, in other words, that could also go as act as if.
Yeah.
Because, when the other day, I said this before, and this has been helping a lot. I've been using the belief, which is called From a Thrilling Experiment by Emmett Fox. I'm sure you could find it online. You could also find it on one of our previous script show pages.
Last week's episode, we read that.
Yeah, and it's about, I'm choosing to, when I'm out doing my walk, when I'm out doing whatever, when I'm driving in the car, I start thinking about, I could relax because God's arranging all my affairs on my behalf.
Yes.
The good I seek is seeking me.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about any of this stuff. I can enjoy them. And then I start feeling so grateful for where I am right now. Now I'm like, I love this car. I love the music.
Yes.
And then I start thinking, wow, I have the best wife ever.
Right.
Oh, I love my doggies.
See, that's acting as if, because in that moment, because sometimes it's like I used to get so twisted, I would take it so literally, I had to pretend I'm actually driving that car, and there's something to be said for visualization or whatever. But to act as if is to act as if everything you desire is already here. To be able to sit down, sometimes I'll... even in the especially my mind will start spinning off and thinking I need something or something's out of place. Sometimes what works for me is to sit down and just say the prayer, thanks God, everything's perfect. I got nothing, I don't have anything to ask for at this moment because everything is perfect.
And the desires that scare us, these desires are put there by God. It's okay to believe that they can be a possibility and eventually a reality.
That's right. In Science of Mind on page 151, this is by Ernest Holmes, he says, the kingdom of God is within you. When we become conscious of our oneness with the universal good, this is what I thought about when you were talking about you driving down the road. and having that, that expectancy of good and the realization of good. When we become conscious of our oneness with universal good, beliefs in evil, sin, sickness, limitation, and death tend to disappear. It says, we shall no longer ask amiss, supplicating as though God were not willing, begging as though he were withholding. And that is so key. It's so true. I actually, when I get in the flow with God, with life, with just feeling good, I actually no longer even believe in sickness and death, and it just dissolves, it evaporates. I just feel good and I'm ready to go.
Well, it brings us back into the infinite now. I was also thinking, when I start to worry, I catch myself now and I go, whoa, 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 whoa. Rather than worrying, which is a prayer for what I don't want,
yes,
let me see, what do I want? Right. And I could apply that to any little situation. Yes. An encounter with someone I have to call on the phone, a credit card, calling the cable company. Right. I'm already getting ready for a fight. No. That's not what I want. I'm worrying about something I don't want. Right. Let me think about what I do want. I want to talk to someone wonderful who loves their jobs, who's excited to help me. Yeah. And you know what? It becomes a reality.
Yeah, because we really are, we're not responding emotionally to our conditions. We're responding to our thoughts that we're having about those conditions. Yes. I even had this feeling I was like the worst person in the world recently. And then I realized I don't feel like I'm the worst person in the world. I feel like someone who's thinking thoughts that are completely out of alignment with who I am. That's what I feel like.
And that's why it feels bad.
Yes.
Here's a great one from Daily Reflections.
Yeah.
This is also on our list, and it says, daily, and here's the key.
Yeah.
This is the key to success and letting go of worry and healing. And it's daily communion with God demonstrates my humility and provides me with the realization that an entity more powerful than I is willing to help if I cease trying to play God myself. And that's where, as soon as you stop, this is God talking. God is basically saying to me, Daryl, as soon as you stop worrying, I can take over. Yes. But as long as you worry, you have a wall around you that's not allowing my spirit to jump in here and transform the situation for the better.
That's right. And in Game of Life, this real quick affirmation to wrap this whole thing up. In the back of the book under Denials and Affirmations, this is great. It's exactly what you're saying. It says, divine love now dissolves and dissipates every wrong condition in my mind, body, and affairs. Divine love is the most powerful chemical in the universe and dissolves everything which is not of itself. Fantastic. So get up off the mat, because coming up next, former U.S. Army Green Beret Sergeant Larry Broughton, CEO of Broughton Hotels, drops in to read and discuss today's daily word, healing. Thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio.
This one is called The Pants. Take 8.
Well, applying love is not getting love from somewhere else, like I used to think.
Yeah, right.
But it's, when I apply love, it's actually looking for the good in every situation.
I hear a voice.
I hear a voice, no picture. He's hiding.
Don't hide your light.
Oh, here he comes.
Under a bushel.
It's Santa.
Oh!
I didn't know we were doing a video.
Well, you're not going to be on video, but we like to see our victims.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And now Jeff can see. Look at Jeff. He's got like his.
He's one good-looking man.
Oh my God.
Well, the one in the back is like a Chuck Norris mixed with something.
Danny Bonaducci.
Yeah, Danny Bonaducci, Chuck Norris in the background. That's
Jeremiah?
Yeah, Zamborsky, is
Samborsky.
It? Oh, Samborsky.
We got that right? Samborsky? Yeah. Awesome. This guy right here.
You got it right.
All right. Dude, Larry. This is presidential.
I know.
Hey, I just had somebody connect with me through Facebook, one of your big fans, Nina Robaum. Is that how you say it?
Oh, Christina.
No, Christina.
Yes.
Yeah, she just connected with me. She said, hey, I heard you last time you were on the show, and what'd she say? Basically loved it.
Wow.
You respect your balance of spirituality, social good, and business.
Wow.
And she doesn't even know you're on today because no one knows yet.
I responded to her and told her, funniest thing.
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome.
But I mean, it's a coincidence that she contacted you even this week.
Right.
Not knowing that you were going to.
Today.
Yeah.
3 hours ago.
Dude, that's amazing.
Now that's the funniest thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
There you go.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, Jeff's playing long
I
commercials.
got about 45 seconds.
Oh, 45
Oh my
seconds.
God, whose commercial is that? Main Street
Yours.
Vegan.
It's probably your book, you.
Oh wait, it might be. And that way, okay, let it play, let it finish.
Go for the long version. We don't want to interrupt
Well, the
that.
same thing is like with the Camaro.
What's that?
No, we were talking about the little things that may seem as problems. You could
We're on
choose to see them as evidence of a blessing.
He's not seeing us.
Oh,
We'll get him back. Don't worry.
Is he still there?
he'll
Not-
come back.
He's not in our vision. All of a sudden he said, "Where are you?" And then he, whoop. So there's some issue there.
He's coming
gone.
back.
There he goes. All right.
Here we go. This will be interesting.
You taking us back?
You're listening to Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, the best looking guys on the radio. If you have a question or comment about today's show, or if you'd like to join in the discussion, friend us on Facebook at Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed, or email us at funniestthing@unityonlineradio.org.
Should I read this one line?
Now,
Yeah.
back to Funniest
bring it back.
Thing.
Are you bringing it back?
Oh yeah. Let's bring this back. All right. Welcome back to Funniest Thing. Today's episode is called "Get Off the Mat."
Get off the mat, Rock.
If you're like us, you might be listening to this because you're on the mat and you need some encouragement to get back up. And Daryl has a great little reading from, what's this called?
Touchstones.
Family
Daryl.
Stones? What
No,
is it?
it's, no. Listen.
Family Jewels?
No.
No.
It's,
Touchstones.
It's Touchstones. Daily. Well, it could be daily meditations for men.
Yes.
You know what? They're strong enough for men, but women like them too.
I like the fact that it's called Touchstones and it's a daily meditation for men. Nice.
Well, listen, it does have a few good things in here. Like from July 12th, it says here, and this goes great with our show. When we surrender our need to be in control, we are more open and welcoming of the good things that come our way.
Yes.
And I wrote a note to myself that says, you cannot be in control and expect good things to happen. And the reason that is, when I have a tendency to feel like out of control, like if something happens with the dog, the cat, or Lori, I immediately think, I got to jump in and, take care of this. And I take the whole thing on.
Yeah.
Well, that's a place of fear. So
Dude, yes.
I'm not expecting good things to happen.
It's exactly,
I'm
that's-
convinced
Yes.
this is going to be bad. And I got to, instead of realizing, no, wait, this is an emergency.
Right.
Easy does it. God's going to help us.
And the good is still there. This
Yes.
is exactly what I was mentioning earlier. I'm so glad you just read that because the tendency is to postpone, put off, acknowledging any good, let go. It's all going to be focused on that problem until it's gone. But like we were said, more times than not, when we take that approach, the problem doesn't go away. It actually gets bigger.
Well, what about it's disrespectful to
Yes.
say anything possible on such a sad occasion,
Yeah,
Edward?
right. As if all good ceases to be.
And almost like it's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
It's
it-
sacrilegious to say
That's right.
that no, God is here just as
Always.
much powerful today as
Right.
he's ever been.
Right.
We just need to take our mental hands off the steering wheel, trust in his power,
Yeah.
and do what I can with what I have right here, right now, with the anticipation that we're going to come through this
right.
just fine.
Because we don't have. This is something that just occurred to me. We don't have to suffer to get the message out of a situation. We can actually that makes it harder to get the message. Like, if every situation maybe is communicating something to us, but we'll get the message stronger by letting go, going back into a good state of mind, go back into appreciation, go back into
Yes.
forgiving ourselves and everyone involved in the situation, forgive ourselves for buying into some false belief that anything can go wrong in God's universe, because it does not.
No, anything can go right.
Everything is going right, isn't it?
So what do we got?
Well, time to thank our listeners.
Oh my God, we have the best listeners in the business.
Just
Oh my God.
before the show, we ran into Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia. We live in the heart of Screenland.
Behind,
Culver City,
that's right, behind the Conservatory and Victor Jr.'s.
where we get our coffee.
Yeah.
And he said, guys, I listened to or watched.
Yeah.
He's watched a
couple episodes.
couple episodes, and he loves them.
Yeah.
So we told him today we're going to do a shout out on the show.
Thank you,
for him.
Andrew, as we like to call him.
Andrew Garcia.
Yes, thank you. Let's see here. We've already talked about our website, DarylAndEd.com. Oh, the one thing I want to say about that If you go to the script page, right?
Oh,
It's
yes.
called script pages or something like that. Show scripts.
Show scripts.
On the tab. You'll see all the readings that we read today. You'll see the breaths. You'll see the letters that we read.
The YouTube.
You'll see a link to the YouTube episode.
You'll actually be able to watch the YouTube right there.
Embedded.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Now that's embedded. So, now's the time where we like to thank, besides our tweeters.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they tweet about your book like it's going out of style.
I know. I'm so grateful.
Oh, your book.
Oh, that's right.
We got 2 boxes, and they happen to write books on those cardboard boxes. For our listeners at home, you can't see it, but if you go on the YouTube, you can see that behind us is 2 cardboard boxes full of Daryl's book. What if Godzilla just wanted a
it actually
hug?
says books on it, like the episode of Little Rascals. Funniest thing. Well, Culver
That's
City
right.
is the home of the Little Rascals, so
That's
we
right.
fit right in.
There's one man who makes this whole thing sizzle.
And this is the reason for our YouTube episode that's already up.
Yeah, that
is
3-minute episode that we just did.
is because we were at S&W restaurant.
Right, and the episode is called "Comfort is a Good Thing."
Yes. And speaking of comfort,
And speaking of comfort being a good thing, we love Chief Engineer Jeff Comfort
because each week
he takes us right into the comfort zone. Yeah. There he goes, buzzing the tower. I'm telling you, Top Gun was a screenplay adaptation of a day or a 6-month period in the life of audio engineer Jeff Comfort.
I know, and his evil compadre Iceman was actually modeled after
Jeremiah Samborski.
That's right, the station manager, the Iceman.
That's
and
right.
Maverick.
They didn't want too handsome of guys, so they got actors to play the role. So,
Yeah.
That's right. So anyway, so let's see here. The prayer line.
Oh my God. 1-800-669-7729
Or 800 Now Pray. Or the app, which is free at the App Store, which is the letter U, pray. You pray. And then you use that. There's an icon for you to call the prayer line, or just type in a prayer that you would like them to pray for you. And then you get a nice letter or email sent to you, not just confirming that they're praying with you, but the letter itself is an affirmative prayer that gives you a boost.
Yeah, and no prayer is too small.
You know what?
No prayer request is too small.
I was in a situation recently where something happened with the car and I was on the side of the road and I wanted to get a good state of mind. I didn't have all that much time. I just listened to the recorded prayer, and that gave me the boost I needed, and then the guy arrived, so I didn't have time to even continue, but that was all I needed. But if it's your first time calling, there's a recorded prayer
While you're on hold.
but wait for the live person, because man, praying with whatever it is, this is perfect for getting up off the mat. I can
Yes.
promise you it will help you get off the mat.
Prayer really does change things.
Yeah,
And all you need to do is believe that. Belief is the match that lights the fuse to your demonstration.
That's right. I just happened to read a little bit of Prayer Does Change Things from Emmett Fox this morning. So I'm like, my morning routine we talk about, you got to put aside 7 minutes a day to get in the flow with life, to start your day. Now mine includes a book right on top of my bedstand that I sit on the edge of my bed and I have to like peel my eyes open. I'll read just a paragraph and then, get some water and then go sit down and do my other reading. So.
Oh my God. You know what I do too? Like as soon as I wake up, I start doing that Florence Scovel Shin affirmation. Like, today is the day the Lord has made. Miracle, follow miracle, and wonders will never cease.
Oh yeah.
Like I just tell myself, half time I go, you're not really excited about that. And I go, wonders will never cease.
Nice. All right. Speaking of wonders that never cease.
That's right.
Next up, we have the Daily Word portion of our show. And if you would like to order the Daily Word, go to DarylNed.com. On the homepage at the bottom, there's a link to an offer
that you can't refuse. It is lower than the lowest possible special that even Daily Word offers on their site for first-time subscribers. We feel so honored that the Daily Word gave us a landing page and extends this special to our listeners exclusively.
That's right. That is correct. It's like the picture pages remember Bill Cosby used to do picture pages with the kids. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, you might have been a little bit
too old.
Picture pages. It's time to get your Daily Word. It's time for us to talk to Larry Broughton. Is he here?
Hello?
He's here!
Hey, guys.
Dude.
Larry Broughton is such a, even though he's been out of the Green Berets since 1930,
Yeah.
he's able to jump in here. We didn't even see you in that you're disguised like a piece of audio gear.
I was going to say, he could probably kill both of us remotely, even though he's not in the room with us.
It's those ninja skills I've been honing over the years.
The good news
My
is,
goodness.
I know, thank God, just like our episode, thank God today he uses them for good.
This guy does a whole lot of good, too.
Thanks. I'm trying. It's a daily struggle sometimes, but yeah, I'm trying.
Hey, can you tell us what you told us? Our YouTube listeners, watchers, whatever, heard you on the break,
Yeah.
but you got a message from someone on Facebook.
I did.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Just as I was driving over here, I'm up in Santa Barbara right now, working with some coaching clients. And,
Nice.
You know, I was doing what I should not have been doing. I was sitting at the Facebook messages, and I got a Facebook message from someone who had just asked to connect with me recently, and her name is Christine Robaum. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce it properly there, Christine. But she sent me a really nice message. Said, "Hey, I connected. I heard you on Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed. Loved the show." And basically just complimented me on being able to blend spirituality with social good and business. It was just really nice to see that you guys are doing great things. And even, you know, you guys are making connections from all around the world. So I just think it's awesome what you guys are doing. And I just, honestly, I tell you guys this before, and I tell Daryl this all the time, I just appreciate how you guys, the simple things that you talk about, how transformational they are. It's like they say, you know, small hinges move big doors. Well, the stuff you guys talk about are, you know, small, not always easy to do. They're simple, but they are transformational when we apply them consistently.
You know what just dawned on me?
Well, wait.
Christina's going to be on our show in 2 weeks.
Oh my God. And she had no idea that you were going to be a guest today either. It's such a funniest thing that she reached out and coincidentally you're on today's episode.
She's got a great organization called Yoga in the Workplace. And I think that's the website, yogaintheworkplace.com. She's coming on in 2 weeks. Dude, this is a love fest, man. This is incredible.
I'm just grateful I moved up from doorstop to door hinge.
Yeah. You were a doorman, then a doorstop, and now a door hinge.
I think the doorman was the in-between from doorstop.
Oh, that was the step up.
Well, better than a doormat.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, and today's show is called Get Up Off the Mat.
And speaking of get up off the mat.
Yes.
You ready to read today's daily word?
Sure. Love it.
right.
You ready for me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, here it is. Get ready, folks. It's a powerful one. Healing. I am renewed by the healing power of prayer. For thousands of years, healers have used the power of prayer to rejuvenate the mind, body, and spirit. Today, while we have many scientific remedies available, prayer remains a vital part of healing. Every day, I affirm my truth. Perfect health is my divine inheritance. I may repeat this many times a day, as Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore taught us to do. As I meditate, I envision God's presence as a warm light flowing in and through me, renewing and restoring every cell of my being. Part of my healing is forgiving myself and others of any thoughts, words, or actions that caused hurt. Prayer and meditation make forgiveness possible. Thank God for the renewing, healing power of prayer. And the scripture is, whatever you ask for in prayer with faith, you will receive. Matthew 21:22. Wow. Powerful.
Yeah, it says so many things in here that are unexpected in a healing reading. You know, one of which is, it begins, part of healing is just forgiving myself, letting myself off the hook, letting other people off the hook. You know, if I have any little shred of disappointment, especially towards myself, let it go. You know, God is a forgiving God.
Yes.
And me, like, beating myself up over a mistake. And we read something a couple of weeks ago. You know, it's the mistake, not, don't
change the mistake. Destroy them. It said destroy the mistake, not the person.
Right.
And too often we try to destroy ourselves
for making the mistake.
And that has helped me a lot.
Well, I think we feel like we have to beat somebody up for the mistake. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a human reaction, but that was my thing for years. Daryl knows this. Daryl was with me during one of my most darkest moments of my life when I hit bottom and bounced a few times. And it all came back to forgiving myself for the stupid mistakes that I had done in my life, you know. And when I
Yes.
realized that, you know, the funny thing is, I didn't think that God could love me because I didn't love myself.
Right.
And when I started finally loving myself, then I realized, wow, God actually loves me, and I could start forgiving people. But man,
Yes.
you can't forgive other people if you're not forgiving yourself.
Right.
It's just weird how that works.
Well, yeah, and another thing is when I get sick or hurt or injured, especially if it's something like an injury that I tripped or stumbled or I decided to push it a little extra, I'm going to do a little more today in my work, and then I hurt, like throw out my back, the tendency, instead of to immediately jump into, okay, my body just said that was a little too much. We're on our way to healing. No, what I'll do is, I can't believe I was that stupid. I can't believe it. And that's not going to help, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually, I'm releasing now more toxins. My the cortisol
Cortisone.
level, is going up. My serotonin's depleting.
Yes.
Because when we think positive thoughts and join forces with, hopeful thoughts of recovery, thoughts of positive transformation, I mean, it's scientifically proven now that the serotonin levels increase.
Right.
So it's like immediately we start, as immediate byproduct, begin to emotionally feel better.
Right.
As I begin to emotionally feel better, I become even more hopeful.
Right.
And then my healing tends to be more rapid than if I was complaining.
Right. Dude, I guess this must come in play in your neck of the woods, Larry, with people who are entrepreneurial, people that you're working with and who might have a tendency to beat themselves up or think that for whatever reason they're limited or, in their business, on the business side of things.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I think that when we start counting our sphere of influence, we've all got them, right? Who do we impact on a daily basis?
Yeah.
So in the entrepreneurial space, it's our team members, our employees, their families, our vendors, their families, investors. And when we stop and think about that, we put so much pressure on ourselves that when we make a mistake, we beat ourselves up for like, oh my gosh, I'm impacting all of these other people and everybody's watching me. But the truth is, most people aren't watching what we're doing. Think about back when you were 11 or 12 years old. I mean, I could think of a couple of circumstances when I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to forget this. And everybody knows this. It's going to track me for the rest of my life. But the truth, I just came back from my 35-year high school class reunion. Nobody remembers the stupid stuff that you did back in grade school.
That's right.
No, and matter of
We
fact,
carry it with us like an anchor for our, and it just sucks.
oh my God. And you know what's even more amazing? Most all of the people that we thought maybe didn't like us or thought we were not the greatest, we find out at these reunions, none of that was true.
Yes.
Everybody's
Oh
like,
my God,
Fazaro, so glad you're here. And I'm like,
yes.
oh my God.
Yes.
What was I thinking
Yes.
about myself?
Yeah. And these practices we're talking about here with healing and forgiveness, it's like, it's just allowing us to see the part of us that most other people already know that about us. We're the last one to know it most of the time.
Yeah.
People are actually relieved to see a happy version of ourselves. Like, oh, we can finally love you and appreciate you because you're letting it in.
You know what? I can't believe you're saying this. I was walking down the hill just the other day and I had this positive thought of, God, I want to see myself more objectively. And we were talking about, me and you were talking about when I was a kid, I was like 8 years old and I'd sew my own pants and stuff.
Yes.
And I was so embarrassed by that. I would make these great patches and everyone would ask me, oh man, those are amazing. Even the teachers who sewed those.
Yeah.
And I would say, oh, my grandmother did it because I was ashamed to say it was me.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to think that my grandmother really loved me more than she did because the other kids' parents would say, oh, my mom did this, my grandma did it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I felt bad, right? And Ed reminded me, he goes, God, if I met an 8-year-old kid today, came into the classroom or Ed's class, and I found out he sewed those pants himself, I'd be like, dude, you're amazing.
Right.
So nowadays, I just ask God, let me see myself objectively.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more kind.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, than it is the way I tend to drop into
It's
seeing
amazing.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. Sometimes we just get so wrapped up in the fear of what we think people think about us.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's nice. You know, I remember the first time I went back to a reunion. It was like my 10-year reunion, and I got halfway across the parking lot, turned back around, went into my car, and said, "I can't do it. I can't do it." But I found the courage to go back in, and ever since, I've realized. Honestly, it's been a touchstone for me. I just keep going back. Push through your fear. Push through your fear. It's going to be okay. And I treat myself like a firm and loving parent, as you guys coach me along to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just give myself a hug and just go in and just say, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yes.
You know?
Right.
So thank you guys for just the stuff you guys do in my life. Larry loves Daryl and Ed. And
That's awesome.
I love what you guys are doing.
Well, we love
All
you,
right,
man.
buddy.
I'll talk to you soon.
And
Where can people find
Yeah.
you? I know you have a great, like a positive
website
that actually gives a lot of great information for entrepreneurs to keep
Yeah.
their spirits high. Why don't you just share that with us?
Sure. It's a website called yougozi.com, and it's a great place to find just nuggets of learning for leaders and high achievers. And it's YOOGOZI, yougozi.com.
Beautiful.
How's that?
Yugozi.
Awesome. Thank
Yugozi.com.
you.
We love it. And we love you, Larry. Thank you for coming on, taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys. See ya.
All right. Coming up after the break, we'll have a joke of the day, listener mailbag, and more. So thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio.
This one is called the pants.
Isn't it amazing that Christina contacted him today?
Amazing.
YouTube.
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 Yeah, no, we know we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry's there too.
Oh,
Hi, guys. Do you want me to drop off now? All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks
All
so much
right.
for
Thank
having me
you,
on, guys.
buddy.
All right. See ya. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was great. Dude,
I know.
you were scared.
I wasn't. Was I? I'm always scared.
I don't know. I just felt like saying that.
That's why I need to go crazy.
What's Mr. French doing?
Mr. French is asleep on Gabby's hiney. And Gabby's sound asleep with her head off the mat.
Better get ready for the milk call.
She's ready. She'll wake right up. Because it's like we're all afraid, but then it's like
We're doing a joke today?
Yeah, we got a joke and the
Give me the signal me for the punchline.
punchline is get in the line.
Get in line. Oh, you're going to be the Italian guy.
I'll be the Italian guy. That'll be from me.
You got to pay attention here.
Praise goes before the demonstration.
Praise goes before the demonstration. That is correct, because that gets us in a receptive place to receive the demonstration.
Well, when we start praising, it gets me in that place of where, the quote from the Bible, whatever you ask for in prayer with faith, you receive.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes for me to think of, okay, this is going to work out. And we don't want to be so specific
Right.
about how it should work out.
Otherwise, we're it's like we're thirsty, but we only want one drink. So we're surrounded by other drinks, but we refuse to drink because,
Yes.
no, we're waiting for that one.
And God always has the best drink.
That's right.
So it's like in a general way,
Yeah.
praise the situation. Praise, okay.
Because there's so much to be grateful for at every given moment.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
incredible.
if I'm going through something too, find one little thing to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And that little bit of gratitude causes a chain reaction in my mind.
No kidding.
That I begin to see another thing.
It's
another
legit.
thing.
It's not
Yeah.
like we always say. Affirmations work not because we're convincing ourselves of anything, but because they're already true.
Yes.
We just have to remember they're true.
It's evidence. It's like we're just writing down something that exists right now that I'm grateful for.
That's right.
This is not Pollyanna. This is actually looking at the facts.
Pollyanna gets a bad name.
Okay.
We now return to the funniest thing. Here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed, the best looking guys on the radio.
We're just keeping them occupied. Hey, welcome back to Funniest Thing.
Yeah, get up off the mat.
Yeah, get off the mat. We're in the third segment already.
I know, for crying out loud. Let's listen to see what
Science
Science
of
of
Mind.
Mind 365. This is a daily reading. Also at darylanded.com on the reading list. You can find it. And it said, it was from today actually, I am supplied from the substance of God. And it says, every good gift cometh down from the Father. Every good gift. That's amazing.
Every good gift.
That's right. It is the nature of God to give, and it is our nature to receive. God has not failed humanity. That's important. God has not failed humanity. A lot of times we walk around, there's a lot of people thinking like, this show is to remind us that God, it's working. It's all, everything is, we got to be awake to receive how good it is.
Yeah, like if you go, are you reading the news? We just talked about this yesterday. Like if you read the news, you go, oh, the world's falling apart. Look at all the evil in the world. No, the bad news is... It's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, it's like the cameraman just needs to swing the camera over and see all the good that's everywhere.
That's right, because the reason we love bad news is because we don't have much bad going on in our everyday life.
That's right. And this is why Jesus told us we must believe that we have really received the gift before we see its evidence. This is an active faith, but it should be a faith built on sure knowledge, the certain foundation, and the positive conviction that there is something that responds to us gladly, readily, willingly, joyously, and without limit. And then a good little affirmative prayer is, today I am living in the quiet and joyous expectation of good. God is not only the giver, he is also the gift. This gift I receive in joy, with gratitude, and with a complete sense of security. I expect everything I do to prosper. I expect new and wonderful experiences to come to me. I am living in complete confidence that the kingdom of heaven is here and now, and that I am prospered in everything I do.
I like that whatever we ask, God responds joyously.
Yeah.
That the universe responds joyously.
Yeah.
Because I used to believe, and I don't know where I got it, that God really is very shrewd when deciding whether or not to help me out.
Yeah.
So I had to
let me look on my list of naughty and nice.
But the more I'm pleading, I'm coming from a place of worry and doubt and disbelief.
Yes.
Rather than choose to believe that God is a joyous giver. Get into that flow of joy. It's not always easy.
That's right.
And that's why I say sometimes you call a friend just to help knock you back in the positive stream of life, just by reminding you of the positive facts in your life right now, so those can start growing.
And it's easier to deal with on a level of thought than it is to deal with, deal with the worry in our own head. It's actually easier than we've been led to believe. That's the hardest part, is to get ourselves to believe that it's worth changing the channel on our thoughts and calling our friend, or calling prayer line, or reading a book, picking up something easy that will relieve you.
Well, I like, because you just gave a very practical way to do it. Imagine it like it's a dial, like you're listening to the radio. When I'm on worry, I'm keeping the channel on the worry station. If I think of it as simply as just changing, listening to different music in my mind, if you could just do that and switch it over.
Yeah, I also like the image that just came up of imagine there's a news cameraman and he's focused on one crazy guy on the street. And you're the cameraman. Just swing the camera around and start taking in everything else that's going on around you. And it will quickly change your state of mind. I mean, the other day, you hear about this Italian funeral that happened?
Oh my God, yeah, it was in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so pick that up, because this is what do you call that?
A tome?
Cold read?
A cold read.
Okay. A Jewish man was leaving a convenience store with his espresso when he noticed a most unusual Italian funeral procession approaching the nearby cemetery. A black hearse was followed by a second black hearse about 50 feet behind the first one. Behind the second hearse was a solitary Italian man walking a dog on a lead. Behind him, a short distance back, were about 200 men walking in single file. The Jewish man couldn't stand the curiosity. He respectfully approached the Italian man walking the dog and said, "I'm so sorry for your loss, and this may be a bad time to disturb you, but I've never seen an Italian funeral like this. Whose funeral is it?"
My wife's.
"What happened to her?"
She yelled at me and my dog attacked and killed her.
He inquired further, "But who's in the second hearse?"
My mother-in-law. She came to help my wife and the dog turned on her and killed her also.
A very poignant and touching moment of Jewish and Italian brotherhood and silence passed between the two men. The Jewish man then asked, "Can I borrow the dog?" The Italian man replied,
"Get in the line." Ooh, that had a little wet Cheerios. All right.
Well, who's that we hear?
I'm glad you bought new underwear.
Yeah, who's that we hear coming down the
it's Gabby.
front walk there?
Yay! Hey, there's Gabby the Postal Pitbull. She's
Yes.
actually dreaming right now.
That's right. All right, so
Can you get that back?
make sure we get
Speaking
that
of
back.
cameraman, well, you got to think just a
Little
tad
more
more, you're
high.
going to lose your head.
All right, so we got some mail to read here.
Well, let's see what we got.
Daryl has this very specific thing set up for the YouTube listeners so that we look good.
Actually, viewers.
Viewers, thank you.
Well, wait a second. Where's our mail, Gabby?
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, is that
Why
mine?
don't you read that one right there? It's right there. You just passed it.
Oh,
This one
here it
comes
is.
from...
Karen Bresner.
And this mail came through the DarylandEd.com website. There's a
Yes.
contact form. That's an easy way to send us mail. We love reading your mail on the air. If you ever want to be on the air with us to read the Daily Word,
Let us know.
let us know. We would love to have you.
Yes, any fan of our show is a fan of ours.
Sometimes we give the boot to people.
Wait a minute, that didn't make sense.
Yeah,
We're a fan of any fan of our show.
that's right. Let's just say, when we hear an excited fan that wants to come on, that's our first priority.
Yes, always.
Yes.
And speaking of excited fans, Karen Bresner said, I'm writing today to recommend the poetry of Mary Oliver. I think that some of her writing might resonate with you. The work is easy to find online in libraries, etc. Here are some examples. The poem Messenger, which begins with, my work is loving the world.
That sounds
Isn't
good.
that good?
Yeah.
Also from the poem When I'm Among the Trees, and they call again, it's simple, they say, and you too have come into this world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light and to shine.
Dude, that's nice.
Yeah, the book is entitled Thirst, if any of our listeners are looking for it.
Yes.
And she wrote, keep up the great work. Sincerely, Karen Bresner. Thank you.
Yes, Karen. I think I did a about Facebook. I found one Karen Bresner in Philadelphia, I believe it was, Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia freedom.
Woo! All right. Oh, you know what? We just on the text line, I got a little sincere question from Kurt Naus up in Colony, New York, who I'll be visiting next week. We have an album together with Coconut Donut called Musically Delicious, which will be available soon. But he says, how do you show a breath on a website? He was referring to our script pages where it is written.
Yes.
The little mantra that, like, today's breath was, what was it? When I give up my worry,
God acts
in a hurry. So, Kurt, we won't be showing the breath, except there will be a YouTube link there, so you can watch it there, or you could just read today's mantra.
So you could practice these, whenever you need them. Just
That's
read
right.
them right off
so
our
keep
list.
eating those tiny hot dogs and text us again. So we have another bit of mail from the YouTube page, because we just found that we just realized people have been commenting on some
On
of the
our
YouTube
YouTube
episodes.
videos.
Yeah, we're new to this. So Katrina Koning, when she watched We Have a Propensity for Prosperity, she said, love this show.
With an exclamation point.
Dude, very concise, and we take it.
We love it.
Dolly Kamere.
Lemaire.
Sorry, I actually made that L into a C. Dolly Lemaire. I thought it was Dolly Camaro. That would be a perfect girlfriend for you
Back in New Jersey, I
Yeah.
fell in love. Dolly Camaro.
But Dolly Lemaire said she watched Ignite Your Confidence, and it said, great conversation. Love.
Yes.
Yes.
We appreciate all your comments, all your notes, all your suggestions.
Yeah. Do you have any funniest things that have occurred that you could think of? Let's think about this for a second. Any little funniest things besides, man, that Christina.
Oh my God, the funniest thing today. I got one quick funniest thing.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The funniest thing happened Saturday when I was looking to step beyond my rut.
Yes.
And I didn't know what I was going to do. And I started looking for things outside myself, which is usually insane. But now I know that, like, maybe I should go to Universal.
Right.
Maybe I should go to Disneyland. I'm like, whoa, easy.
For some
does it.
people, these things are sane.
Yeah, but not
But for us, it might lead even further into a spiral.
Yeah, so instead I go, nope, I'm just going to trust in God, throw it on God's shoulders, and just do the next right thing. And the next right thing, I look on Facebook. I see my guy I used to work with. He was the host of CNN's local edition that I used to work with, producing the show. Mm-hmm. And he was hosting a interview show. He said Saturday, from 9 to noon. So I said, hey, where are you, man? Let me know. I'll swing by. And then later on, I figured he's probably just an old post.
Right.
Sure enough, at 11:30 or so, I get the feedback out of the blue saying, come on down. We'd love to interview you. And I was like, oh, my goodness. And I just kept letting go of the doubts.
Dude, that's awesome.
That said, don't go. It's too far. You'll never make it on time. You don't know what questions to ask.
Right.
I said, let go of those fearful thoughts, and I just kept moving in the healthy direction, telling myself the whole time, practicing this show, going, nope, no worry, God's in charge. I'll know what to say. It's going to be a great time. I'll get there in perfect timing. It was like going to church because I was with old friends that I used to work with doing the CNN headline news shows, and it was so much fun. It was way better than anything I could have planned.
Yeah, you got up off the mat.
I got up off the mat, and you also choose to participate.
That's getting up off the mat.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and don't listen to your doubts.
That's right. That's right. I mean, the perfect way to wrap this whole thing up is with a little ditty about what a day in the life of Daryl and Ed is really like.
Let's hear it. Whoa! I know this one.
Rising up, back on the street. We said our prayers and did some dances.
Oh, dancing.
We had some coffee, now we're back on our feet. Daryl and Ed and God's will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You forget God's passion and glory. Loosen your grip of those prayers of the past. You don't have to fight just to keep them alive.
Whoa!
Just two guys in the prayer, giving up on the fight, giving up on the challenge of our rival.
Hands off!
And that cat known as Jesus helps us pray in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo!
How do you not love
Larry
this?
Broughton!
Yeah!
You goes again!
Ah!
You goes ahead!
Visit DarylNet.com to find easy links to everything we do, including The Funniest Thing podcast on iTunes, our YouTube page, our Twitter feed, Daryl and Ed, and The Funniest Thing fan page on Facebook's on the website too now. But most of all, as always, thank you for being a part of Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed on Unity Online Radio.
And the cat known as Jesus helps us pray in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger.
I don't want it to stop. Oh, it stopped.